try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. You got the
What up, Fin fans? Welcome to another episode of the Fin Posse Podcast, brought to you by Game Changers Media. I'm your host, Big C, and I do apologize for being an absentee host. Sorry about not being around this week. The work schedule has just been outrageous, but I'm going to put my foot down so I can be here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time with all you guys, because this is important to me. So I want to make sure I'm here for y'all. I do apologize about the past week, but we're going to get back into it. You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all coming through, and I got to do my part. I was just trying to make that paper, you know what I mean? Trying to make that money, and they want to dick me around. So, but I am here. How y'all doing today? Friday morning. Training, rookies have reported to camp, which is exciting. That means the football season is that much closer. We got a couple things to discuss as far as this team goes. I want to call out my homegirl about some of her takes that I heard on her show yesterday. Much love. Make sure you subscribe and check out her channel. But let's say our hellos. Michael Lombardo, hello. What up, brother? How you doing? Jose, good morning. Raphael, good morning. Michael K, good morning. Yeah, I got some of them, but I got the one to work, Michael K. I was messing around with it a little bit this morning. So I'm not exactly sure which ones I'm supposed to download, but I was messing with it this morning and that did work. Elwood, good morning. Bonnie, good morning. And thank you for the donation for me trying to get the training camp. I claimed my tickets. I'm still waiting for the email, so we shall see. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure if I'm going to be able to make it, but I appreciate the donation, Bonnie, Michael, and Glenn. Thank you for the donations. I really do appreciate it. Let's get into it. Rookies reported to camp. Super exciting. But the big name missing Jonah Savanea. Listen, this whole thing with the second round picks wanting the guaranteed deals, I don't overly see a big deal about it. You know what I mean? We're talking pennies on the dollar here. Some of the second rounders that went a little bit later than Jonah, they're signing not fully guaranteed deals, but we're talking about $1 million off $11 million. Like, is it really that big a deal? $1 million. We're talking $1 million to billionaires. Typically, a second round player, you're not going to give up on that player within the first 3 years anyway. So the player's going to be on the team anyway. The player's going to collect all that money anyway. I don't see the big deal about guaranteeing it. And to get Jonah Savanea on the field, it's going to take a fully guaranteed deal. He's not going to sign one of them in between deals, especially because Nick Emawari, the safety for the Seattle Seahawks, was drafted 2 spots ahead of him. He just signed a fully guaranteed deal. So there's no in between. Jonah's not going to report to camp until he gets that fully guaranteed deal. And he's too crucial to the success of this offensive line to not get him into camp. All right, Michael K., I got you. Thank you. Would you buy a car without a warranty? There's camp implications too. Yeah, but I mean, we're talking $1 million. We're talking only $1 million, less than $1 million. Because if the 43rd pick, 45th pick is getting signed for, what was it, 9.6 out of 10.3 was guaranteed. Like, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not that big an implication. And to get the guy in the building is more important, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a owner thing. I'm saying give it to him. Give him the guaranteed deal. Give him the guaranteed money. I mean, other teams are folding. In this, we don't all go to the Super Bowl. We don't all go to the playoff. All teams aren't considered equal. This collusion by the owners. Listen, if the Chiefs are saying, "Hey, let's do this," listen, you guys have won Super Bowls. I'm trying to achieve the success that you have. Cam Smith was a second round pick, and he's still on the team, right? It's not like they released him. It's not like they tried to get out the contract. That's what I'm saying. Second round picks are going to be given 4 years regardless. They're going to be given 4 years regardless. Give the guy his money, get him in the building so he can start learning the nuances of this offensive line. What up, Miller? What up? Was going through withdrawals. Stop, Miller. Other news around the league: Von Miller signs with the Commanders. Man, the Commanders going all in. This team is going to be scary. It's really shitty that we got to play the Commanders this year. I think they got a really good football team. I think the Eagles and them are going to be a blast to watch. They're really going to be fighting for that division. We got some player rankings to go over. The top 10 rankings at each position by ESPN. We're gonna look through that, talk about that. We're gonna talk about the cornerback position again because it's a focal point of this team. What we do at the cornerback position really affects how I see this team finishing. Because there's some talent here, folks. This team, the people out there saying 5-6 wins, I just don't see where you're coming from. I really don't see where you're coming from. A team that's been a playoff contender for the last 3 years is automatically just going to fall off a ledge and win 6 games. I just don't see it. Raphael says undrafted free agent Conyers with tight end will make 53. I mean, there's a chance. There's a chance. Has Greer not paid a second rounder is full 4-year contract? Nope. I don't think most teams are. What up, JD? That Sauce deal almost guarantees us a new corner. Bland need paid, and Cowboys got to pay Mike. Yeah, I mean, I think the Jets overpaid Sauce. Wow, that's crazy. If this fan base thinks Tua is soft, watch Jaden Daniels. He truly was a soft body. Man can't take a hit. He better have a good against us. Listen, you can say what you want about Jaden Daniels being soft, and I'm not even saying Tua's soft. I don't think it's Tua's like, oh, I got a broken fingernail, I can't play. Tua can't. There's nothing Tua can do about the injuries he takes, he suffers. Can he protect himself better? Yes. But it's not, Tua can't force himself into the game. These are concussions. These are, you know what I mean? The hip injury last year, Tua doesn't have the strongest arm. You get the torque, you get your power, your throwing motion from your hips. So if Tua's hip isn't working, Tua's going to be out there throwing lame ducks. Clint says Cam Smith has to show up and work this year, or he could not. He could be out the league. You would say that, Glenn, but then you see Noah Igmadogany playing for other teams who was absolutely terrible for us. So somebody will give him an opportunity. I mean, he's got a skill set. Let's not pretend that Cam Smith doesn't have a skill set. Cam Smith has the tools to be a good corner in this league. He just hasn't been able to put it together for us. Yeah, Miller, I just commented that Nick Emawari got his fully guaranteed deal. That's why Jonah's not going to settle for anything less than that. That's why Jonah Savinea is not going to, he's not, 35th pick, 37th pick. He's going to want that guaranteed money. And I just don't, you know what I mean? What are you not going to guarantee $200,000 of it to make a point? I just don't see the point of it. I'm trying to say I don't think Commanders will be the threat people believe them to be. Jose, I think you're wrong. I think the Commanders are really good. I think Jaden Daniels has an opportunity to be one of those upper echelon quarterbacks. I really do. I think he could be on the verge of superstardom. I think in the next couple of years, Jaden Daniels could be mentioned in the same conversation as Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. That's just my take. That's how I see the kid. I think the kid's outstanding. I think Jaden Daniels is that next top quarterback. I really do. And if you don't, Jose, everybody's got their opinion. I just think he's a dual threat. I think he throws the ball better than Lamar Jackson. And I think he's damn near the athlete that Lamar Jackson is. He's too brittle. He's going to put on some. Listen, these guys grow. You know what I mean? They get bigger, faster, stronger. Were we not saying the same thing about Stroud last year? I wasn't. I was never a big CJ Stroud guy. I've never been big on Ohio State quarterbacks. I mean, other people were, Glenn. I'll give you that. Other people were riding for a CJ Stroud, but I was never a CJ Stroud guy. I'm not a big fan of CJ Stroud. He's everything you say, but can't take a real hit. Did he miss time last year, Jose? Washington signed Debo and now Von Miller. Yeah, they signed them. They got Laramie Tunsil. I mean, Washington's going to be good. Michael K said people said the same thing about CJ Stroud and Deshaun Watson. Listen, Deshaun Watson was on the verge of being a superstar quarterback. Then he went and did whatever he did, you know what I mean? And that year off. People don't understand how a year off football really hurts somebody. Problem is Miami tests. If you want to be a football player in general, the distractions and scene mesmerizes everyone. I mean, not everyone, but yeah, if you don't have any, if you can't restrict yourself, then yeah, you're gonna have issues in South Florida. I mean, young, rich, famous. That's a deadly combination when you don't know how to hold it and can control it. Joe Riss, what up? What up? What up? Listen, I never received no emails from y'all about this house in Florida, so I'm guessing people aren't serious. Yeah, Timothy, I'd go Bo Nix also. I don't like Bo Nix's play style. I think a lot of his play success was luck. He runs all over the field. He's not a pocket passer in my opinion. He tries to turn into a broken playground play, and that's not going to only work so much. I see a lot of turnovers in Joe Nick's future this year. We still need lineman depth. We absolutely do. We absolutely do. My preference would be a regular season game, but I honestly forgot. Busy week. Joe, I was thinking that too. I've never been to a Phins game in South Florida. I think I'd really like that experience. I want to experience training camp. I do, but I don't think I'm going to be able to pull off both. So I think I think I'd like to go to the game maybe against the Saints because I want to go for a win too. I need it to be a win. I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave Hard Rock and be sad. That's for sure. Jay McCarthy, I know he was hurt, but still a sophomore slump. I don't know if you can call it a sophomore slump when it's his first year starting. Yeah, I don't think Bo Nix is. I don't think Bo Nix is going to end up being a great quarterback. I just don't. Quarterback end up playing disguised defenses, different cycle of year, and teams play their weakness. That is why you have a drop off of second year quarterback play. I saw that last year. I grew up in Jersey, so I finally started going to games 2 years ago. Great game against the Jets. Are you talking about Bo Nix, JD? And I'm gonna go. The Miami Dolphins. For everyone that's saying that 5-6 wins, this team has the opportunity to win this division. They do. The Buffalo Bills are at their weakest right now. The Buffalo Bills team is not great. Josh Allen's great, but the rest of the team in Buffalo, I think we have the superior team. A lot of the key additions for the Buffalo Bills are are injured. And I think if we can find a way to slow down Josh Allen, we're going to be able to compete with the Buffalo Bills this year. I think the Buffalo Bills have an opportunity to lose to the Patriots. I think the Buffalo Bills have an opportunity to drop a game to the Jets. If the Buffalo Bills just lose one or two games that they maybe should win, I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be vulnerable to us catching them in that division. Now it's going to take Tua playing a full slate of games. We can't have Tua missing 15 or 5-6 games and think we're gonna do anything of significance. It's just not possible. Tua has to have a full slate of games this year. Now, Phins, I'm a little more skeptical about him going all the way, but I feel like this team could definitely compete for the division. I think they definitely could compete for the division. So I'm gonna call out my homegirl, Miss Phins. I was listening to her podcast like I typically do. Make sure you check out Miss Phins if you haven't. Like, subscribe, comment on her show. She does her thing over there. She's very entertaining. First off, yesterday she said that for the Miami Dolphins to succeed, Tua's going to have to throw 3 touchdowns a game. So you're telling me the only way that the Miami Dolphins are going to succeed if Tua has 51 touchdown passes? I don't believe that to be true. She's not worried about the defense at all. It's the offense. And, if you look at the offense as a whole last year, last year, you're not impressed. You're not impressed, right? Yeah, you look at where we ended up ranking out last year on offense, and I got it here. I'm going to pull it up. You're not super impressed, right? Let me see. Is this the offense or the defense? This is the offense. All right, no, that's the defense. All right, let's see. Can I make this bigger? I don't know if I can make this bigger. I don't know if it got bigger. Did it get bigger? All right, so let's see. Miami Dolphins offense, where were we ranked? We're all the way down at the bottom. Let me see if I can take this banner off. Okay. Let's see. Miami's all the way down at the bottom at 20.3 points per game. 20.3 points per game last year is what we averaged. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We were 22nd in the league in points per game last year at 20.3. League leaders were Detroit at 33.2, then Buffalo at 30.9, Baltimore at 30.5, Tampa at 29.5, Washington 28.5. All right, so we averaged 20.3 points per game last year. But that's adding in the 6 games that Tua did not play, and our offense was absolutely a shell of itself. Now, when Tua played, we averaged 24.7 points per game. Where would that land us at? Right here above the Chargers, right below Denver. 24.7 points per game. That would leave us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That'd be 11th. So we'd go from 22nd to 11th in points per game. 22 to 11 from points per game. Tell me that's not a huge difference. A significant difference that would change the outcome of games. $24.7 points per game is not bad football. It's good enough to be 11th in the NFL. You're going to win a fair amount of games scoring 24, 25 points a game. If your defense can't stop the opponent from scoring 25 on a regular basis, then there's issues with the defense. But when Tua's healthy, this team can put up enough points to win football games, and that's with a shoddy offensive line. That's with Tua coming back from injury multiple times, not being at 100%, having to get back in the playing, back into a playing mindset. You know what I mean? You don't just come back from injury and be 100%. And we seen Tua make mistakes when he first came back. We seen the fumbles. You know what I mean? We seen a couple games when he first came back where he put the ball on the ground. The Miami Dolphins with Tua Tagovailoa behind quarterback can score points. That's with a injured Tyreek Hill. That's with Jalen Waddle dealing with injuries. That's with Raheem Mostert putting the ball on the ground. Raheem Mostert, I love the guy. I love Raheem Mostert. But Raheem Mostert was a shell of himself last year. Between the injuries and the fumbles that cost us 2 games, he was a shell of himself. I think with hopefully an improved offensive line, a healthy Tyreek, a healthy Jalen Waddle, Malik Washington hopefully taking a step forward this year. Nick Westbrook Akine on the team. I think this team should be better offensively. I see with Tua under center, and if Tua can remain healthy, this team scoring 26, 27 points a game. And then we're talking a top 5 offense. We're talking a top 5 offense. %35% of games he missed. Yeah, I mean, that's the issue I have with Tua Tagovailoa. We're going to talk more about Echan in a minute. You know what I mean? We're going to talk more about him in a minute because I think Devon could have a huge year. I see him very similar to another running back who had a breakout season last year. And I believe if this offensive line gets it going, I believe that he could have a very similar year to this back's last year. There's no way that Darren Waller's not the number 1 tight end on this team. There's no way. He's too athletically gifted for anybody on this current roster the overcome his athletic ability. Timothy, I would say Alexander Madison doesn't make the team either. Melifanu will make the team. I think Melifanu will make the team. Joe says, Jose, that logic is wild. We have a mid quarterback, and because we are worse with backups, you justify Tua's mediocre performances over 5 years. Jay Wright, I think the Dolphins could have a nice 1-2 punch. And again, you can say Tua's a mid quarterback, and you can't necessarily argue that. You know what I mean? He has very good to great games against the bottom teams in the NFL. He has struggled against some of the upper echelon teams, but he's also played not as bad as people. People want to put all the blame on Tua for the losses against top teams. And yeah, quarterbacks are supposed to put their teams over the mountain. You know what I mean? They're supposed to elevate their teams. And I keep saying that Tua is not that quarterback. If you're looking for Tua to put the team on his back, he's not the quarterback for you. Now I think some fans are too hard on Tua. I do. I think they put too much blame on Tua. I get it. I get it. He's the highest paid player on the team. He is. He is. So I understand that. I get that. Tua's best season, he couldn't hit 30 touchdowns in a season. Tua's a quarterback two, and Dolphins made him quarterback one. I mean, Raphael, we ran for how many rushing touchdowns that year? So I mean, he could have passed for 30. And that's not, you know what I mean? Like, you can look at it multiple ways. I mean, if you have 27 rushing touchdowns, which is crazy, which is a crazy amount. 27 rushing touchdowns is fantastic. You know, he could have threw for 10 of those. I mean, my major I have issues with Tua's game. I do. But the major issue is his availability to stay healthy. That's the major one. That's the one that no one can argue with. And Bonnie, that's Tua is valuable because he's the only one that can run this offensive. But that's a Mike McDaniel thing. That's Mike McDaniel's inability to make adjustments. Mike McDaniel needs to do a better job of making adjustments. Like Zach Wilson, for instance. Zach Wilson is not the same quarterback as Tua Tagovailoa. And if you got any chance to make Zach Wilson into a successful backup quarterback, you got to have a separate game plan for Zach Wilson. You can't put Zach Wilson in and expect him. He doesn't have the same skill set as Tua. That's not what Zach Wilson's skill set is. Zach Wilson's skill set is he's got a strong, powerful arm and puts the ball where it needs to be when he sees it needs to be there. He doesn't have that skill set where, oh, this guy's gonna be here in 25 steps. Let me throw it now to a spot. You know what I mean? That's not his area of expertise. If anyone wants to see what a team with great culture is, watch the upcoming season of Hard Knocks featuring the Buffalo Bills. I mean, Joe, Tua doesn't run this offense successfully. I mean, I don't understand what people want from Tua when he's healthy. You score 25 points a game. Do you need 30 points a game? But that's a team accomplishment, Joe. It's not just Tua that be laying eggs against the good teams. Tua has made crucial mistakes against good teams. He has in some of those games. In other of those games, he's played fairly well. He doesn't lay eggs every time. That's not true. That's not true, Joe. That's not Joe. That's not true though. That's not true. And he can't run a quarterback sneak, and that's an issue. That's an issue. That's an issue. He played well the second game against Buffalo last year. The year before that, he didn't play horrible against Kansas City in the overseas game. That was more of a Tyreek thing. And these games we're not getting blown out. Like there's a couple of games last year, week 2, Buffalo. That was a terrible game. That was a terrible game. That loss was on Tua. That loss was on Tua. No, I don't think it's one a year, Joe. I don't think it's one a year. Our expectations are rock bottom. I don't think they're rock bottom. I'm ready to move on because he can't stay healthy. And if he can't stay healthy, we have no shot. We have no shot. Is he an upper echelon quarterback? No. But he's not a bottom feeder. Anywhere from 10, 11, 12 to 15, 16, 17. That's where he is. I want to win too. I listen, this team hurts me just as much as it hurts everybody else. And I've seen a lot of bad quarterback play. I've seen Tua lose us games, but I've seen this team lose us more games. I've seen where the whole team looks like they're a complete mess. Skyler did better in playoffs. Listen, if Tua would have played that game, we would have won. Don't give me Skylar Thompson's a better quarterback than Tua Tagovailoa. That's not even remotely close to being true. No, I'm saying Tua's good because he shows when you put the right things around him, he can be successful. Tua's won you 11 games in a season with the number one offense in all of football when he had a good offensive line and a competent running game. I don't, you know what I mean? Joe, I just suggest you go back and I've done this numerous times. Go back and look at every game that he's played against good teams and look at the stat line. Go back and watch the replays. This defense has been, this team has we would have beat Buffalo in Buffalo if not for a bad penalty. We would have beat them. We had an opportunity to beat Buffalo the year before. We had an opportunity to beat Philly. Drop touchdown passes by Tyreek. The fumbles, the fumble by Tyreek ran back for a touchdown against Kansas City. We had an opportunity to win that game. We could have won that game. Baltimore smacked us in the mouth last year. That was a blowout. That was a game that we had no chance in. 3 or 4 seasons Miami made playoffs in the last 20 years. Miami offensive line was good. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can judge. I don't think you can judge that playoff game in Kansas City. And mind you, nobody else was able to beat Kansas City that year neither. Mind you, nobody else was able to beat Kansas City that year neither. They won the Super Bowl. Other teams have moved on from high draft picks, quarterbacks, Joe Rist. And do I think the Miami Dolphins need to move off of Tua Tagovailoa right now? Yeah, I do. But it's because of his injuries. It's because of the injuries more than anything. You're not trading for anybody. Tua's the quarterback this year. Tua Tagovailoa is the quarterback this year. Bottom line, there's no arguing it. Whether you're happy about it or whether you're sad about it. I'm just trying to look at the cup as full as I can look at it. I think Tua has the ability to do enough to win us games that we can compete for a division. So let's get back to it. I wanna take a look at the rankings for ESPN put out positional rankings. Let's go share screen of different positions. Add the screen. Let's see. Oh, all right. Top 10 corners in the NFL. Let's see. Pass Surtain, number one. PS2, he's a beast. I really wish we would have pressed trying to trade for him that year that Denver was really bad. I think there was an opportunity to go out and grab him. I'd have much rather traded for Pat Surtain than Jalen Ramsey. I don't know if that was a possibility or not, but Pat Surtain last year, Defensive Player of the Year. Derek Stingley Jr., we seen how good he was against us last year. He's one of the highest paid corners in the league. He's a beast. Denzel Ward, Cleveland Browns. This is a guy that could possibly be available via trade. And this is an option that I think the Miami Dolphins should really be intrigued with. I think the Miami Dolphins should be interested in trading for Ward. Trent McDuffie, Kansas City Chiefs. Sauce Gardner just got that new big deal, number 5. Christian Gonzalez, I see big things from Christian Gonzalez. I like his game a lot. He's number 6 for the New England Patriots. J.C. Horn, Carolina Panthers, a 7. Jalen Johnson from the Bears. Kerryon Mitchell from the Philadelphia Eagles. And Devin Witherspoon, Seattle Seahawks. Notice who was not in the top 10, Jalen Ramsey, no top 10 ranking. But he's down here in honorable mentions. Ramsey's trade to Pittsburgh should bolster his Hall of Fame track at age 30. He had a down year last year, but he still had flashes of being the gold standard at corner. Blase, blase, blah. He's in a physical decline. Good riddance, Jalen Ramsey. Take a look at some other positions they have here. Let me take a look at running backs. And this is where I want to talk about Devon Achane. Scroll down, look at the running backs. Number one, no surprise, Saquon Barkley. Oops. Damn it. Number one, Saquon. Number two, Derrick Henry. We made a huge mistake not going and getting him. He wanted to be a Miami Dolphin. We had no interest in getting Derrick Henry. Honestly, we had the opportunity to go get Saquon and Derrick Henry. The Miami Dolphins didn't grab either one of them. Jahmyr Gibbs last year had a fantastic year for the Detroit Lions. He had 1,412 yards, 16 touchdowns, 5.6 yards a carry. He's 5'9", 202 pounds. I see Devon Achane being able to have a season similar to Jahmyr Gibbs if we can get this offensive line right. I think with a solid offensive line, Devon Achane has a chance to put up numbers similar to Jahmyr Gibbs. I really do. I think Devon Achane is a very talented back. He's a home run threat. I think he needs to maybe put on 10 pounds, but I think he can be the same type of back as Jahmyr Gibbs. At the very least, a poor man's Jahmyr Gibbs, because I think he's on the ascent. Jahmyr Gibbs, you could see a 1,800 yard season from him this year. He split a lot of carries with David Montgomery last year. 1,800 yards. Let's go back to these rankings. Jahmyr Gibbs at 3, Bijan Robinson for the Falcons at 4, Christian McCaffrey at 5, which I think that's too high for Christian. Listen, if Christian can be healthy, he's definitely top 3, 4. But the fact that he barely played last year, I think 5 is too high. Josh Jacobs had a fantastic year, his first year in Green Bay. Jonathan Taylor, number 7. Also could have been a Miami Dolphin if Chris Greer didn't draft Noah Igbenogany instead. James Cook had a fantastic year last year. And Joe Mixon at 9, Alvin Kamara at 10. Honorable mentions, Devon Achane, Miami Dolphins. Elite speed and explosion. Wear down because he's small, similar to Gibbs. He just gets banged up. Runs very hard for how small he is. Should get out on the perimeter more as a pass catcher. And then there's one more I want to touch on. Go here, the wide receivers. Oh. Didn't want to show it. Let me show
Consumer Report.
wide receivers. Yeah, it's not letting me show it for some reason. But anyway, Tyreek Hill was number 3 on that list. Still a top tier wide receiver. Minka Fitzpatrick was number 8 for safeties. There's talent on this team, folks. There's talent. Jordan Brooks was an honorable mention for linebacker. Chop Robinson was mentioned, received votes for defensive end, outside linebacker. There's talent on this team at all levels, to be honest. And this team could be successful this year. But the Miami Dolphins still need to make a move at corner. I think we need to add some more O-line depth. And I think we could see a successful season. Now, a successful season for you and me could be two completely different things. I see a successful season as competing for a division title, a playoff victory. Achane is a third down running back, not buying running back one. See, I mean, he's a little undersized, but I mean, he stayed fairly healthy last year. I mean, I think with a competent offensive line, he could be fine. Patrick Paul was a rookie last year. I mean, he filled in. You know, he didn't have a great stat line, but he also wasn't, the games he did start, you weren't constantly hearing Patrick Paul's name on the telecast. So, I mean, he must have been doing something right. You got to stay recent with running backs. Listen, I think Achan's fine. I think a nice change of pace back is good. A nice power back behind him. CB83 says he's too small to be an every down back. And listen, I get it. That's why I said if he can put 10 pounds on. But Jahmyr Gibbs showed a guy that size can be successful. There's been guys in this league that have been successful at that size. It's not your prototypical size. You'd like a running back that's 210, 215, 5'10 or 5'11, 215. You know what I mean? That's why I was on board getting Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? Could you imagine a backfield with Derrick Henry and Devon Achane? That's why I was on board getting Derrick Henry. And we'll see. We know very little about Jalen Wright. We know very little. Ali had a beast of a sophomore season in college. Last year they struggled. But he didn't have a team around him. So I think we got a nice nucleus of young backs. I don't know if we got a superstar back per se, but I think Devon Achane can have a very successful year this year. I think he can be good enough. Hold on a second. Oh, we've had to go to work. There have been lots of great running backs that were smaller, says Bonnie. Yeah, I'm not ready to discount this kid. I think the kid has potential. He hasn't had a good offensive line, you know, besides his rookie year. And when he was a rookie, he averaged almost 8 yards a carry. He had 200 last year, Joe, right? So bottom line, I think we scored 24 points a game with Tua as a starter last year. I think that number goes up. When Tua starts, I think we can average 26, 27 points per game. This defense is questionable to me just at the secondary level. I you know, we need to add some depth. We need to add some veterans to this room. And if we can do that, I think this pass rush is going to be outstanding. I think once Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, and Chop Robinson all get on the field together, this pass rush can be very dangerous. I think Minka has a great year if they use him correctly, which I believe Weaver will. Not a lot of small running backs win Super Bowls. You need a Punisher at running back, a Ricky or a Emmett. I wish we had a Ricky Williams. I wish we did. We could have had Jonathan Taylor instead of Noah Igmendogany. They've never. This team has never. Chris Greer's never made a uh, high priority to get the stud running back or make sure the offensive line was right. That's not what his concern with his team was. It's always been the flashy pieces. It's always been the flashy pieces. Timothy says, add a tackle, a guard, and a cornerback, and I'll have more confidence in the team. I agree, Timothy. I agree. I think if you add, I would say add two corners at this point. Big C, I think that, but NFL in general, they have moved away from the stud bulk running back by committee. Listen, I get that, but listen, there's some running backs that deserve the ball full time. Saquon Barkley, when we had the opportunity to trade for Saquon, and it would have probably only taken a fourth or fifth round pick to get him over from the Giants, we should have absolutely jumped all over that. LaDainian Tomlinson was a monster. Phins, Marshall Faulk, great example, and he won a Super Bowl. Curtis Martin, I remember being a little bit bigger. I mean, I don't think Marshall Faulk was a track star, but he wasn't a big running back. Marshall Falk wasn't a big back. He was more elusive, you know what I mean? But he wasn't a track star, but he wasn't a big back neither. Nah, Roger Craig was a bigger back. Regardless, regardless, Devon Achane has skills. Do I think he has a long career? No, but you typically running backs after 30, teams aren't trying to give him second contracts anyway. And to be honest, the Dolphins probably when Achane comes up for his second contract will probably lowball him and he'll sign somewhere else anyway. Let's be real. Yeah, Achane's definitely our number one running back. He's definitely the number one running back. Barry Sanders was short, but he wasn't. He had some weight to him. Barry was just different, though. Barry was just different. Listen, the success of this team depends on Tua's health, that offensive line, and the cornerback room. I think we're set everywhere else. I think we got very. I think we got a very good team that can compete this year, but things are going to have to go right, and it's time for Tua. If Tua is healthy, it's time for Tua to go out there and win the big games. It's time for Tua to shut people up. And if he can't do it a few times this year, if he can't surprise the fan base and win a game against Pittsburgh or win a game against Cincinnati or win a game against Washington or beat Buffalo once, he's got to do a couple of those things. He don't got to do them all. He ain't got to do them all, but he's got to do a couple of those to give this fan base some confidence in him. Give this fan base a reason to cheer. You can't continue the stick off for someone if he continues to do the same thing over and over and over again. Like I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's played decent against some good teams, which he has. He has. Go back and look at the numbers. Go back and look at the film. He's played good against Buffalo. He didn't have a horrible game against Philly. He didn't have a horrible game against Kansas City. But the fact of the matter is they lost those games. Well, it's time for us to win those games. It's time for us to win some of those games. It's time. And I think the defense can have another. You say what you want about our safeties, but I think we improved that room. I think our linebacker room is improved. I think our defensive line has improved. You got Kenneth Grant. He's up there. He's supposed to eat up space. He's supposed to help stop the run. He's supposed to open up lanes for the other pass rushers on this team to make plays. Zach Sealer back. People forget that we're getting Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb back. I have high expectations for Chop Robinson this year. This team can be successful. Well, let's hope, man. Let's hope. If Weaver can somehow work miracles with the cornerback room, then this team absolutely can compete with the Buffalo Bills. Big C, in your opinion, what was Greer's biggest mistake in his whole tenure? In his whole tenure? Oh man. I don't even I don't even know. I don't even know where to begin. Take it, Mike. Make up Fitzpatrick when Stephen Ross said he wanted Lamar Jackson. Take it, Minka Fitzpatrick when Stephen Ross said he wanted Lamar Jackson. I got City Water, Glenn or Michael Gay. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, comment, share, hit your notification button. We're gonna be back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. We're gonna get it up. We're gonna get it in. I think the passing on Lamar Jackson was inexcusable. Lamar Jackson should be a 3-time MVP at this point. I think that's gotta be the biggest one, right? Lamar Jackson would have absolutely flipped, and I would have probably been pissed about the pick initially. Yeah, the guy won a Heisman Trophy. He had an opportunity to win two of them. Uh, but they said he was a running back that was playing quarterback, even after he got in the league. But Lamar Jackson has turned into a really good quarterback. Every other team passed on Lamar to. They did. They did. But when the owner is saying draft Lamar Jackson and he says no, I want Minka, you know, man, that's hard to overlook. The biggest mistake this offseason, well, the biggest mistake last offseason was giving Tua the extension. The biggest mistake this season is not addressing the cornerback room. Is not addressing the corner room. Because this team has talent up and down the roster. But it's hard to overcome a huge hole like we have at the corner position. I agree, Joe. That's why Emmett's record will never be broken. Nobody will ever catch Emmett because the day of a true number one running back is over. It's over. I have a feeling Scadaboo is going to be like Thurman Thomas, crazy contact balance. I don't see him. I don't think he's nimble enough to be a Thurman Thomas. Thurman Thomas was a great running back. It's crazy that Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas were teammates. Also, I want to bring this up? Did anybody else see who they have replacing Mike McDaniel if Mike McDaniel gets fired? Did anybody else see that? Did anybody else see who they have Mike McDaniel getting replaced by? No, Elwood, not Weaver. Not Weaver. Nick freaking Saban. Nick freaking Saban. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Nick Saban is listed as one of the top candidates to take over for the Miami Dolphins if Mike McDaniel's shown the door. No, actually, Joe, actually, they said the person who came out with this article said the first hard thing that Nick was going to have to do was let Tua go. Yeah, I'm sure, because why wouldn't Tua be one of your favorite players to coach? Why wouldn't he be? I mean, you put Tua on a team like Alabama with a great offensive line and all the speedy receivers that you could want. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't Tua be the perfect player? If you put Tua on a perfect team, Tua can do all the things he needs to do. I mean, to be fair, Nick Saban knows how to build a team, right? I mean, Nick Saban is like a Bill Belichick disciple. You know what I mean? I think another hot commodity is going to be Mike Tomlin. College is very different. It is different. College is different. I don't think it's as different now as it used to be though, with all these players getting paid. Like players are switching schools like they changed their underwear. John Gruden, I think John Gruden would be a great coach. Listen, I think Mike McDaniel's still going to be a good coach for someone in this league. I think Mike McDaniel's one of those guys that struggled, and not even struggled. You can't say Mike McDaniel has struggled. He's struggled with certain aspects of the game, but Mike McDaniel's had a decent run here in Miami. I mean, he's got a couple playoff appearances in just a couple of years, dealing with a often injured quarterback. I mean, everything considered, Mike McDaniel's had a pretty successful run with the Dolphins. I mean, it's not Mike McDaniel's fault that he has Tua at quarterback and Chris Greer as GM. Mike McDaniel was brought in to help Tua, which he has helped him. He has helped Tua. I mean, different schemes and stuff. Most teams like Alabama run pro style offenses and stuff, defensive. So I mean, I don't know about that, Joe. Get Dwayne Johnson. You want The Rock to be the coach? You want The Rock up in here? Listen, I don't want to get too deep into that. You know what I mean? Because I think this team can be. Mike McDaniel inherited a 10-win team. Did he? Did he? I don't want to get too deep in that because we have a whole season of football ahead, and I'm a Dolphins fan. I love this team, and I wish nothing but success for this team. And I think we have an opportunity if a few things go our way to have a successful season. Now, again, I don't think we're going to be able to necessarily compete for a Super Bowl, but stranger things have happened. Players do get hurt, and I'm not wishing injury on anyone, but Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Pat Mahomes could all get hurt. And that would open up the door for a lot of things to happen, right? Tua could remain healthy. I don't think did he ever I don't think Flores had a 10-win season while he was here, did he? Miami Dolphins record last 10 years. Yeah, 2020. Dolphins will be competing for fourth in the East. I don't think you believe that, Michael K. Mike McDaniel he does need to change up the scheme this year. He needs to put some wrinkles in the scheme that he needs to run some plays and do some things that other teams haven't seen yet. And then mix in the original scheme with that. He does need to make adjustments. And that's one of Mike McDaniel's weak spots is adjustments. But yeah, I think I'm excited that camp is camp will be starting here in a week or so. I'm excited for the guys to get on the field, put the pads on, and see what we truly got. Hopefully, we don't have much cap room, but the Miami Dolphins can create cap room by, doing something the Zach Sealer's contract, doing something the Jordan Brooks's contract. They can free up like $11-12 million, which is enough to bring in a couple free agents. I would like to see us bring in 2 corners and another guard tackle. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's to come in the next month or so. Football is on its way. I'll be back Monday. Maybe this weekend I'll hop on and do a open fan panel. Again, I apologize for the last week. I missed you all. I appreciate you all. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, comment, share, hit that notification button, and we'll see you Monday. But until then, brothers, I love y'all. Brothers and sisters, I love y'all. And you know what it is. Fins up. Peace.